She was only 23 when her life changed forever. Why? Because her father made a decision that would alter the course of her life drastically. This was Rosemary Kennedy, the eldest daughter in the Kennedy family. I've told her story before, but because of recent comments made by this man, her nephew, I thought, why not just tell her story again? Never forget. This was Rose and Joseph Kennedy. They had 9 children. Firstborn, Joseph Jr., then John, then Rosemary. Very tight-knit family. Joseph Jr. was the golden boy. He's the one Joseph Sr. was going to push into being the president. She was born in 1918. Her name was Rosemary, after her mother, so they called her Rosie or Rosemary. From a young age, Rosemary showed signs of developmental delays. It took her longer to crawl, walk, talk. It's been reported that when Mother Rose was in labor with baby Rose, the doctor couldn't get to the house in time, so the nurse there told her to keep her legs shut, which deprived the baby of oxygen. Reports of her life indicate that she had an intellectual disability. When she was 11, they sent her off to a boarding school for children with disabilities. When she was 16, she was sent to a convent in Rhode Island where 2 nuns schooled her. As you know, the Kennedy family was very wealthy, so they donated money to the convent to make sure Rosemary was taken care of. Despite all of this, Rosemary was a functioning human being. She was close to her siblings. She enjoyed shopping, the opera, going to tea with her friends. When she was 20 years old, her father became the U.S. ambassador to the UK. It's here she was presented as a debutante to King George and Queen Elizabeth. She practiced curtsying for hours and hours, and when it was time for her to curtsy, she stumbled. Even though her mother in the middle didn't say anything, it was likely embarrassing for the family. That's Kathleen on the left, otherwise known as Kick. In 1940, she comes back to the US. She's about 22 years old. Her siblings have stated she became a little bit more difficult to handle. She was irritable, moody, she would fly into rages. When the nuns reported back that she was having relations with men, Joseph was not having it. He was convinced men were taking advantage of her and that she was being promiscuous. Joe Kennedy had huge plans for his 2 older boys, and any kind of scandal would wreck their future careers. They were concerned that Rosemary was going to become pregnant. Joe learns about a new controversial procedure that could potentially calm Rosemary down. It's called a lobotomy, and he's telling Rose about it. Rose has daughter Kick research this procedure, and Kick is like, this is not for Rosemary. But behind his wife's back, he takes his daughter Rosemary to the hospital. They do the procedure. They're poking around in her brain. She was awake for the entire procedure. She was reciting poetry, and while they were poking around up there, when she stopped talking, they knew the procedure was done. The results were disastrous. She could no longer talk, walk, and immediately her father institutionalized her. Eventually, she ended up at the St. Coletta School for Exceptional Children in Wisconsin, and Joe Kennedy built her her own cottage on the ground. She was under the care of 2 nuns. Joseph took care of all of the bills, but he never visited her. Rose Kennedy also did not visit her daughter for over 20 years. None of her siblings knew what happened. She just kind of disappeared. Here's the irony. Joseph Sr.